Good evening.
Evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing? And how's the weekend?
I'm fine.
Yeah, good.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, right. Okay. I think I've been able to make it open. Yeah, I think that's sorted now. Yeah, good evening, everyone. And thank you for joining today. Um, it's a 6 months anniversary of starting this event. And I want to give yourself and myself a round of applause for the consistency so far. It's not been easy, but uh, we'll continue to do this for as long as we can, and it will definitely metamorphosize into something bigger by God's grace, even as time goes by. Also, I think is a good time, being 6 months into it, to just say some few things. Everybody know me as Seun Siyanbola, but nobody really understand the family system catalyst that's under the name. I think we can all see my screen, yeah?
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. So most people don't really understand why, at least it should be maybe family system therapist, family coach, relationship coach, whatever. But most people don't understand the reason why I'm using catalyst. And if you notice, everything I've been saying here, one way or the other, has been about family structure, talking about background, talking about things we've been through before we get here, trying to take us back to some of the things that is affecting our family and everything. I want to say it openly today that if you find yourself following this program, listening and joining consistently, you are one of the change agents that we need in the coming generation. You can just do a simple Google search that how will the family system look like in 2050? If you read it, you'll be scared, because if care is not taken, we might end up not even having anything to call family again, because the family system is being dismantled. So now I don't have to marry, I don't have to have a family before I start having children, and I don't have any obligation over the children. The government can pick up the child and take care of them, for at least in this part of the world where we are. So all those things are things that I saw, and I said, what if I start teaching what I know without charging a dime for it? It's not about the money now. It's about how we can build the future together, preserve our family system together. So if you find yourself here, you are not just listening for yourself, because you are a seed. As you listen to this program every now and then that we do it, you are a seed. And if you are well planted, you won't come out as a seed. You come out as a tree. And you can count the number of seed on a tree, but you cannot count the number of trees in a seed. In the same vein, as I am a seed from someone's tree, as you listen, you become a seed of my own tree. But I don't know the number of tree that is inside of you. So as you are, I am only catalyzing you. This is not part of what we want to say today, but I just feel I should say this before we start fully today. As I am talking to you guys today, you are a seed who is going to become a tree. So I am the catalyst, trying to speed up the reaction, trying to make things faster, trying to initiate the change. But you that are listening today are the real change maker. So if you are listening to me today, there's a leader in you. You are now an ancestor. You can change the narrative. So this is the platform where you get the fire, but you go out there to light up your world. That's just the long and short. There will come a time when, probably when we are doing a year anniversary, I'll be able to come out with the total blueprint, because by then, I believe after those 12 different sessions, you should have gathered so much to run with. So by then, we'll be able to release the blueprint of what each and every one is expected from each and every one of us here. But I just thought I should let you know ahead before the time, being the 6-month anniversary of this program. So it won't be like you're just coming and leaving and you are not really, you don't really understand the reason why you are coming here. So next time when you're coming, I want you to come with the mindset that you are being transformed into a change maker, into someone who is capable of changing their world. Then you go with whatever you've learned, apply it to your life first, as I've applied what I'm teaching. Like I always say, there is nothing I say here that I'm not doing in my life, that I've not done in my life or still doing in my life. I won't teach you what I don't do. So I have done it. You are hearing it from here, and you are applying it in your own life. By the time you apply it in your own life, you teach other people too. And the fruit of it will become limitless. So in view of that, I want each and every one of us to say congratulations to ourselves for being part of the people that is going to make the change in our world. So you can unmute yourself and say congratulations.
Congratulations.
Right. Okay, so we are moving straight into today's session, and is anatomy of love, distinguishing commitment from chemistry. If I ask, I want at least 2 people, if we can do it very fast, to tell us what they understand about the word love. That if they say love, what is love? Can anybody just unmute yourself and say something? I'm waiting. Who is helping us out? So if we say love, if you don't want to talk, you can just drop it in the chat box. What do you understand about love? If they say love, what does it mean to you? Anybody? Nobody wants to interact with me today. Is anybody there?
Yeah,
Let
we
me
can hear
know.
you. I can
So,
hear you.
so it doesn't look like I'm talking to myself. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, then. So, if we say love, what do we understand about love?
Choosing somebody daily.
Choosing someone daily.
Mhm.
Oof,
In
that's deep.
everything.
So, choosing someone. Can I probe a little bit, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay, if we say choosing someone daily, what do you mean? Can you expatiate a little bit, sir?
Uh, I think the love we're talking here has to do with like intimacy love.
Right.
It's different from even the love, general love, is still talking about uh, going extra mile to accommodate someone's inefficiency, someone's tolerate one another, going beyond, seeing beyond the incapacity of the other person.
Mm,
So now, when it now comes to man and the woman, I think it's a deliberate choice of choosing the person every day and irrespective of what it is.
that's a very good one. Quite honest, that's a very good one. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Does anybody want to talk, or should I move on? Okay, I'll just move on. Like we did last week, I discovered that when I keep showing slides to people, it kind of divide the attention of people. So I stopped using slide. We just talk to each other face to face. But be rest assured, it was nice last week. We'll see how it goes again. But if you want us to use slide, you can just drop it in our WhatsApp group that you prefer it with slide. Then we can drop a poll if you want slide or not. Then we'll move from there. Now, when we are talking about the anatomy of love, the word anatomy in itself, it means, separating something into its smallest component. And that's what we are going to do. I don't know if we are going to have part two, but it's most likely we have part two because I might not be able to finish in one part because I don't want to keep us too much. The greatest danger is not loving the wrong person, but the greatest danger is misunderstanding love itself. I'll repeat myself again. The greatest danger is not loving the wrong person, but the greatest danger is misunderstanding love itself. So, which means if we don't understand love, there is high probability that we might even love the right person wrongly. Dr. Miles Monroe said something. He said, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So the moment you don't even know the subject matter, which is love, it is almost impossible for you to treat anybody right in a relationship or in a marriage. Now, I say something here again. Every relationship and marriage rise and fall on what you know. So, whatever it is that you know will determine whether your relationship or your marriage will work or it will crash. There are sometimes you look at some people in a relationship and you will know for sure without even consulting anything that is not will this thing fail. The question is, when will it start failing? Because from outset, you discover that their knowledge of the institution of marriage, their knowledge of love is void of anything that is right. I was talking to a single person, and I asked the person, what will you be doing in your relationship? And he said, relationships supposed to be fun. I said, what is fun? And he started smiling. I immediately knew what he was talking about, that, oh, relationship is all about having good sex. And I know we are not talking about that, but what we call good sex in a relationship will lead to bigger problem that will become unsolvable even in the marriage. Because the moment you start having sex, you stop discussing. And the moment you stop discussing, you stop knowing each other. And what you don't ask during the marriage, during the relationship, you will answer it in your marriage. So it's not will I answer the question? You will answer it, but at that point, you'll be answering it from a position of pain. I just hope that nobody will fall into that. What am I saying in essence? Every relationship and marriage rise and fall on what you know. And it all boils down to three things. Number one, the knowledge of yourself. How well do you know yourself? How much can you talk about yourself? The number two is, how much do you know about the person you want to get married to or you are married to? So if you don't know yourself, it is impossible for the other person to treat you right, because you won't be able to express how you want to be treated. And likewise, if you don't know the other person, it is almost impossible for you to be pleased by them, or for you to even please them. Because if you don't know them, how do you know how to deal with them? How do you know how to help them? How do you know how to intervene in situations? So it is highly important that you know yourself first, you know the other person, and thirdly, you know where you are coming from and where you are going. If you don't get anything today, get these three things. For me to have a successful relationship, I need the knowledge of myself, the knowledge of the person I'm in a relationship or married to, and I need the knowledge of where we are coming from and where we are going. Why do you need the knowledge of where you are coming from? Because whatever it is that makes you who you are today is dependent on what has happened in the past. Like I always say, significant emotional experiences, parenting, childhood, how you were raised, the environment you grew, those are the things that culminate into the knowledge of your past. And those things, if they are not worked on, they will manifest in the present. So you understanding them now and knowing what they are and how you can deal with them will help you to heal from the past even to the present. Then when you heal yourself of that, you can now sit down to plan a future for yourself, for the two of you. Remember, from our last topic, what do you bring to the table? I said the table is owned by the two of you, and the two of you contribute to it. And I said how valuable your marriage will be dependent of how much value you have yourself. So your value, you bring it together. Your purpose, you bring it together to now forecast where you are going. Because any marriage, any relationship that does not have a vision and end goal in mind is a relationship that is destined to crash. It's as simple as that. Because your relationship or your marriage can last as much as the time or as the quality of why you are together and what you want to do together. Imagine you are at a bus stop and 10 of you entered at the bus stop. The moment you get to the last bus stop, what happens? Everybody comes down from the bus, right? Now, at that point, when everybody comes down from the bus, what happens to the bus? The bus will be going. So that means you are all at the same destination at the same time. Then you come out of the bus. So whenever you get to the destination of what you want to achieve together, that's the end of that relationship. So at that point, when you drop at the last bus stop, everybody will find their way. But as at the time you left point A going to point B, everybody is in the bus because you all have the same goal of going to that last bus stop, which is point B. The moment you get to point B, there's no point pushing forward again. Everybody will go their way. The same thing happens in relationship and in marriages. The moment you get to the end of the reason why you got married, everybody will part. So for you to fulfill till death do you part, it is highly expedient that you have a vision, a mission, a value system that will last you a lifetime. And whatever it is that you think will last you a lifetime must be outside of the two of you. It must not be about you, about the children alone. I'll leave that there. I think I've deviated enough. So what am I saying in essence? Every relationship and marriage rise and fall on what you know. So ask yourself, what do I know? Do I know myself enough? Do I know my partner, my wife, my husband? Do I know them enough? How much do I know about where I'm coming from? And the knowledge of where we are going. I'll share my screen now for a particular statistics because I want everybody to see that. Just a moment, please. Can everybody see my screen? Okay, right. So the first thing here is, I came across this and it got me scared of what has happened to the love life, or what people call love. Now, the first point, a particular law firm here in the UK is called Stewart. Between July and October 2020, that's towards the end of pandemic, they discovered that they have 122% increase in divorce inquiry. In some law firm, 76% of divorce filing were initiated by women, a significant increase from pre-pandemic level. In the United States, online searches and interest related to divorce increased approximately 34% during the early months of pandemic. I want you to keep following the thingy, the statistics. Then I'll discuss about it. Now, they said one of the main reasons for the increase is forced proximity. So couples spend unprecedented time together during lockdown, and it begins to expose their unresolved tensions. Second reason, loss of personal space. So work, social activity, and other outlets disappeared, and it started increasing the friction at home. Now, let me start analyzing it. Now, we all agree with these statistics. I'm not the one. I intentionally put the source there so that we all know. It's from BBC Work Life. the divorce rate increased during and after pandemic. Why? Because we were all forced to spend time together with our loved one in a confined space. No going out, nobody is leaving, nobody is using work as an excuse to run away from the house. So it began to expose how much married people cannot even stand themselves. It started exposing how we don't even know ourselves. Now, one of the first reasons, forced proximity. So it begins to, because we are now together in the same space, tension started happening. Why? Because it begins to expose all the unresolved problem in the house. So which boils down to, if they asked them before pandemic, they were still married. If you ask them, do you love yourself? They will say, oh, we love each other. We can't do without each other. Forgetting the fact that that's because they spend more time at work than they spend together in the house. Now, pandemic forced everybody to stay at home. Then you discover that, God, who did I even marry? Is this the person I married? Now, people lost personal space. So people cannot go to social events. They cannot go to anywhere. Then all of a sudden, friction started. Another thing is financial stress. People lost job. There's reduced income. There's furloughs, and economy uncertainty started happening. Then this brought relationships and marriages to their knees. Because this has shown that there is no financial blueprint, no financial roadmap, even in the family. Because if there is financial roadmap and financial harmony, that shouldn't come. I'm getting at something. Now, another reason why divorce increased during that period was mental health challenges. Anxiety started, depression, isolation. How can you be married and be isolated even in your own marriage, even within the confine of your home? Now, pandemic-related stress placed additional pressure on couple. The last one, I think it was like 7, but I intentionally just pick some of them. The last one here is unequal domestic burden. Many women experienced increased childcare and household responsibility, contributing to relationship dissatisfaction. So now it exposed how much we are not helping each other in the house. Now, I want you to look at these statistics, and I'll ask one question. Do these couples love themselves when they got married? And now, in all the reason why the thing didn't go there, the relationship started going south. One of the reasons why the relationship started going south now, does it look like they don't still love each other? Of course, there is love there, but the definition of what we call love is what is informing all these things. I'm going somewhere, just follow me keenly. So now there is increase in the rate of divorce because we were all forced to be in the same space. Why? Forced proximity, loss of personal space, financial stress, mental health challenge, unequal domestic burden. All of these things were what we discussed last week, because I'm trying to join it together, were what we discussed last week, that love in itself is not, one of these questions that someone asked that I answered on the group page, that love in itself is not even enough to keep a relationship together. Because in all of this, there is love, but other ingredient that should make love stronger is lacking. Then they started making inquiry about divorce. What's the key takeaway? Pandemic did not necessarily create relationship problem. It magnified the existing issue, accelerated unresolved conflict and tested the reliance of relationship under extreme pressure. I want to read it slowly. Pandemic did not necessarily create relationship problem. What pandemic did was expose the issues in the marriage, the one that is existing, accelerated the unresolved conflict, and tested the reliance of the relationship under extreme pressure. So now we are talking about the anatomy of love. So think about it. My understanding of love now, is he able to withstand the extreme pressure that might come in the future as a result of being married to the person I'm married to, or as a result of being in a relationship with the person I'm in a relationship with now? Think about it. What's your understanding of love? So if you understand love as whatever it is you understand it as now, be the judge for yourself. Is that knowledge of love that you have, can it sustain your marriage for a lifetime? I'm trying to expose us to so many information or the problems so that when we get to the solution, we'll know how to apply it to our own personal life. Now, why does this conversation matter today? What I've discovered is love affects so many parts of our life that we don't know. How many of, if you know that love is capable of influencing your physical health, just raise your hand or thumbs up or something. How many of you here has eaten hot breakfast or you've served someone breakfast? So why is it that at that point when you've been served breakfast, every appetite you have inside of you just disappear? So which means this thing has so much influence on you that it can affect your physical health. It can affect your emotional resilience. You just discover that, see, this love thing counts me out. Me, I'm not even doing this love thing again. So some people went into depression after broken marriage or broken relationship, and they never came back again. Some people committed suicide because of love. Some people disobeyed their parents because of love. Some people left their family to go to a family they don't even know anything about. Some people left affluence into penury, all because of this love. And some people left penury into affluence because of this love. Now, this conversation matters because love can influence your recovery from illness. I think there is a Japanese researcher that did a research at one time. I forgot his name. I think Okazaki or something. I forgot his name now, but if you Google it, you'll see it there. It's on Google. He did a research and he picked boiled rice, divided it into 2 portions. So one rice, he speaks bad words, evil words, words that are unprintable, showing unlove, showing zero love to that particular portion of the rice. So every morning, he's saying depressive word to that rice. And the other one, he praises the rice every day, say things, sweet words to the rice. They were both placed in the same fridge, labeled. And at the end of the certain number of days for the research, he discovered that the rice that he speak unprintable words to started having mucor, black mucor all over it. But the rice that he speaks good word to that particular portion of rice still remain intact. So love, someone loving you alone can help you recover from any illness, because speaking to that kind of person alone, some people, all they need is just that feeling of being loved. Just that I love you can help them recover from illness, mental illness, psychological illness, even physical illness. This love matter influence wealth creation. It influence family stability. It influence the well-being of future generation. Because, okay, don't let me go ahead of myself. But my fear now is many people now enter this relationship thing, or they got married without even understanding, what love actually is. Which brings me to what is love. Most of us did not even choose our understanding of love. But we inherited love from movies. Our knowledge of love is from movies, social media, from our parents, what we saw our parents do, from friends, from culture. That's how most of us get the understanding of what we call love today. And we did not even test those things to see if they are actually true or not. Now, if someone say, I don't love you, he doesn't love me anymore, if you ask them, how did you know that that he doesn't love you or she doesn't love you anymore? The things they say is irritating sometimes. I'll give you an example. A particular lady in a panel session came forward to ask a question. And she said, at what point do I leave a relationship where I don't feel loved? Underline the word feel loved. And the panelists kind of probed into the question more. And she said, yeah, I was sick for about a year, but this particular guy in question was the one wiping my bum when I poo because I was bedridden. Yet, she has the temerity to say this person does not love you. Listening to that alone, my question was, where was her sibling during this situation? Why are they not the one wiping her bum? Where were her parents? And the guy was the one wiping her bum. Yet, she said she wants to leave the relationship because she doesn't feel loved. Which brings me to the question again, what is love? So, the definition you give love will determine the expectation you have from the one you call lover. Am I making sense? Thank you. Now, here's the question. What is love? Before I answer what is love, I must say that a lot of people know how to give love, but they don't even know how to receive love. Okay, I want everybody to unmute. Please unmute yourself. Everybody, please unmute yourself. And I want you to do one thing. In the next 5 minutes or 3 minutes, 5 minutes might be too much, please unmute yourself. I want you to see something about yourself. I want you to praise yourself for 3 minutes without using the Bible or the Quran, without using any scripture or any book, but I want you to sing praise of yourself. So please unmute yourself and do that in 3 minutes. I want you to do it out loud. because you are
I'm
praising
blessed.
yourself.
I'm
So
beautiful.
1, 2, 3, go.
I'm blessed.
Achievable.
I'm
You are doing
beautiful.
well.
Omoto.
Uh,
Yes.
you do
Hardworking.
well. You do well. You
Beauty
do well.
with
Good.
brains.
A good guy. You're fine. You make sense.
I like
Oh boy.
problem
But
solver.
being
Um,
really with tenacity to things. You've been consistent
Go getter.
over the years and you are so
you're
kind
dependable. You're good. You're a
Sharing.
loving friend. There are
and
many more
you
to people and to
you say
yourself.
you
Good
show up
heart.
It
we
have
are
do.
sure for
You know
right.
It
what?
have do. It have do.
You know what you
You can
want. You
mute
know.
yourself back.
Okay.
What am I saying? What do I want you to see in essence? Did you see how difficult it is to praise yourself? Did you notice how difficult it is to pray, to even sing praise of yourself? But if I ask you to praise me or to praise God for 1 hour, let's say for 10 minutes, you are still ongoing. But to praise yourself, you are struggling even within 2 minutes. Which brings me to love has to start from you. What is love? Love is both action and personality. We were taught that love is all about doing and doing and doing. But love is a person. And what do I mean by love is a person? Love has to start from you before you can give. If you give love without loving yourself, it's a matter of time. You will get to the end of yourself and you will not be able to give anymore because you will go bankrupt. But if you love yourself, you take care of yourself, you take yourself out, you're already kind to yourself, you want the best for yourself, it will be very difficult for you not to want the best for others. It will be very difficult for you not to be able to do things for other people. So now ask yourself again, am I really in love? Because if you want to say I'm in love, that means you have love and you are walking into another love. Because when you are in a relationship, you are not the only one creating that atmosphere of love. You are bringing it together. So if you don't love yourself first, you won't have so much love to give. Now, if the other person doesn't love themselves too, they won't have so much love to give. So when you now come together to say, okay, we want to be in love, there will not be enough love to go around. That's why in the statistics that I show you, when they put them together in the same space without them having a means of escape, friction started. Like I said in the last session when we had, if you take some people, if you take them out of their job, or if they say, you know what, for the next 1 month, nobody should work, stay at home and take care of the family, some people will run mad because their work is how they escape. Their work is how they escape. So now, if you love yourself, it will be very easy for you to receive love. If you love yourself very well, it will be very easy for you to receive love. How many of you that if someone come to you now and be like, wow, you look gorgeous, I like your this thing, I like your clothes, you look amazing, wow, what a stunning image, what a stunning shape, what a stunning this you have, and the person starts singing your praise, what do you start doing immediately? I know a lot of people will start defending themselves. No, they want Jare. Instead of, because you were taught from childhood how to give love, but you were not taught how to receive love. So someone is saying good thing to you, then all of a sudden you want to deflect it back to them. There is a place for deflecting it back to them when you appreciate something on them too. But now if you tell me, wow, you look amazing, I say thank you. Yes, let's start from there now. So if someone say you are beautiful or say positive thing about you, don't deflect it. Soak it in, swallow it. That's one of the starting points where you can start revolutionizing how you love. Like I said, again, love is both action and personality. Now, how do you get better in your personality as a lover or someone who wants to love themselves? Take time, sit down and write things that you love about yourself. If you don't know things you love about yourself, start taking note of everything people say about you that you do well. Then start writing it down. Then start telling yourself, how many of you collect salary and you have a percentage to spend on yourself? I'm not talking about you buying clothes. I know most people buy clothes because they want to wear clothes to work. If they are working from home, I know in the 2 years, some people will not buy clothes. I'm a bit guilty, but I'm changing too. You won't spend money on yourself, but you will give to everybody. When was the last time you took yourself to a spa? When was the last time you took yourself out? That, see, today, I want to go and spend money on myself without situation demanding it. Let's start from there. I don't want to dwell too much there. So take this away. Love is both action and personality. You know, I was speaking with a lady and I asked her, how did you know this person loved you? And she was like, he's kind, he buys me stuff, he take me out, he does this, he does that. And I said to her, I said, even a stupid person can do all this to you or for you because they want to sleep with you. And when they are done sleeping with you as many times as they want, they kick you out. So action alone does not determine love, or does not necessarily mean the person loves you or you love the person. What the person must add to the action or the show of love is the personality of a lover. How do they treat themselves? How do they treat other people aside me? This is for the singles. And even the married can use this as a yardstick to measure how they've been loving their partner up until now and do something about it. This brings me to something very important. I want to say a profound statement now, and I want us to take note of it. Falling in love or loving people, especially in the context of family, is an act of imagination. You met this person, you created an image of them, what they could become, what you could become together, and what your life could look like. You've imagined them in your head. But the place where the problem happens is when your imagination is not aligning with your reality. What am I saying in essence? Imagination has a lot of role to play in how you love people. Remember I said earlier that majority of us, where we got our knowledge of love from, majority of us, where we got our knowledge of love from, is actually from movie, from what we've seen. Now imagine someone who has lived in an environment where love is very scarce. They are not loved, they are not treated well, and things has happened in their environment for so many years. And the person is now coming out of it and wanting to pick who to marry, or has picked who to marry. What they've seen and what they want to do, they imagine in their head, how do I put this? They've imagined in their head that this is the kind of family I want, because I don't want my kind of family. But all of a sudden, their reality started contradicting what they imagined in their head. Not because they don't. I want you to know that every marriage that fails, or everybody that they say they fall out of love, they started with love. It's just that the intensity they started with started reducing with time. Why did the intensity start reducing? Imagination. Okay, let me paint another picture. Why is it that when you first fall in love, or when you start dating someone, everything start coming at you, you start rushing chemistry, physics, biology here and there, and all of a sudden, you just discover that things start coming down little by little. Don't let me go ahead of myself. There is a particular slide that talks about this extensively. But what am I saying in essence? There is something you imagine about the person you are going into a relationship with before you say yes to that person. You've imagined something, you have a knowledge of something in your head about who they should be. Until tomorrow, a lot of people are not even making effort to know their partner. They are not making any effort to understand who they've fallen in love with. They are still stuck with the image in their imagination, and they are trying every means to make sure that person become who they imagined. But I'm sorry to burst your bubble, wake up. It is impossible for that person to become what is in your head. Every good marriage you see today, every good relationship you see today was created by the two of them. So when you imagine something, I'll just say this quickly. When you imagine something about who the person you're getting married to should become, let them know what you are imagining in your head. And let them know the expectation you have of them. If you let them know, they will let you know that this one, I can't become it, but this one, I can work towards it. So that you don't get disappointed at the end of the day. Imagination is the reason why you will fall in love with someone because of their craft. Forgetting the fact that I am good at my craft doesn't necessarily mean that I am good all around. That's the reason why it's easy for some people to fall in love with their pastor. Because the pastor preaches well, they teach well, you've fallen in love with them, you've imagined a lot of things about them. And if you ask the pastor's wife, everything you've imagined, the pastor might not even match up to that level. No shades on pastor, I'm just using it to explain something. So always understand the fact that your imagination will not always be the reality on ground. The faster or the earlier you know this, the better for your love life. Now, I will find a place to stop because we've not even got too far into what I want to do. So like I said earlier, we are going to have a part 2, definitely. And in the part 2, we'll finish everything up. So how do I know that this love is not real? I want to carefully say this one. Not everything that feels like love is love. The reason why I said I'm carefully saying it is because of want of word. Not everything, or let me say, not all chemistry is love. Some people are trauma bonding. It is their trauma that brought them together, and they feel like they are bonding, and it feels like love too. So I want you to know that when you start feeling love, or when you start feeling a chemistry between someone, ask yourself, is this infatuation? Is this an attachment problem I'm trying to solve? Maybe, some people, they have attachment problem. Their parents always drop them with people, and their parents are not always present. So any present person becomes the best person to be with for them. So anybody with attachment problem, when they see someone that gives them attention, they see it as love, but it's not necessarily love. That's why they take advantage of some people. When someone is possessive, sometimes it feels like love. So if you start noticing that if you have a friend, and the moment you start becoming friends with another person, they become uncomfortable. They want to have you just to themselves. It feels like they love you, but it's not. That's not love. That's a big problem in the making. Sometimes love, it feels like loneliness. So loneliness is counterfeit to love, but sometimes it feels like, because you are lonely, you have someone to keep your company, then you start talking, you start doing things together, and because that's the only person in your space, you start bonding, but you might misinterpret the bonding for love. But that's not love. You might misinterpret emotional dependency for love, thinking it is love. Because this person was a shoulder I could cry on when I was in trouble, and they gave me everything that I want. That means they love me. Sweetheart, emotional dependency does not equal love. Intensity is never a proof of love. That this thing is intense, everything is happening so fast, and the chemistry is a lot. That's when you need to slow down and assess. Is it infatuation? Is it attachment? Is it possession? Is it that is my loneliness that is dictating the pace of this thing? Is it emotional dependency? Because you need to check every intensity. Not every intensity is love. Now, let me give you a simple arc. For you to know it is infatuation. Infatuation simply means I love who I think you are. I said love, falling in love, sometimes or most time is all about imagination. It takes consciousness to bring you back to the reality on ground so that you don't expect an apple tree to give you pear. So if you will know it is infatuation, the moment you start loving the person you think that person is, that's infatuation. Because true love will see you for who you are and still choose you anyway. So infatuation is always dependent on the imagination alone. But love will recognize the flaws of that person, but yet choose them irrespective. That's why I love the definition that Mr. Remy gave when we started the session, that you keep choosing them every day. Now, how do you recognize attachment? If it's an attachment problem, the person will always need you to regulate their emotion every time. So the moment you start drifting away from the person, because they have attachment problem, they don't want to share you with any other person. Because they have attachment problem, they always want you in their space. So they always want to need you to regulate their emotion, to help them feel good. But whereas in love, they enjoy you, but they still remain whole without you. So in love, you still have that your power of individuality in love. But when it is attachment, they will always need you to regulate their emotion. That's when they start gaslighting you. You weren't there for me when I needed you the most. And at every point in time, you will discover the thing they always bring against you has a thing to do with their emotional issues. Watch out. That's not love in itself. That's a dysfunction. But is it a reason why you should not marry someone? No. But you need to see a professional for you to be able to determine how deep this thing has eaten into them and how you can get them to the point of wholesomeness. Then you can go ahead to marry. Because if you go ahead to marry without getting the person to a place of wholesomeness, there is high probability that they will keep on demanding from you, milking your emotions to the point where you don't have any to give anymore. So you need to understand that attachment is not love. At first, you might feel like, oh, the person can't do without me. Oh, he or she loves me so much that they are always, if you don't pick their call, hey, yeah, I leave that to your imagination. That someone needs you every time is not always love. Sometimes it is fear. I need you, I need you every night. You are not God. Sometimes it is fear of losing you to someone else. Some people can imagine, I know someone who is in a relationship, and in their relationship, the lady is always complaining about my friend, and the only complaint that she's always saying is, every time he's not picking my call, I know he's with someone. Like, okay, how did you know he's with someone? He said, I just know. Because the way he's been behaving lately, then I'll call my friend, I'll be like, okay, they've broken up now. I think that was sometimes 2022, 2023. They've broken up now. But the fact that in your head, you're always needing the person to take your call, you're always needing the person to do something for you, there is nothing that you do that this person must not be involved. That's a sign of dysfunction. I'm not saying carrying your partner along is bad. No, that's not what I'm saying. But the moment it becomes an emotional duty, so I cannot have my private time, you must be involved. That's becoming something else. So I'll say it again. The moment someone started needing you to regulate their emotion is something that you should see a therapist or a counselor for. Because love should enjoy you. If someone loves you, they should enjoy you and still remain whole even without you. Am I making sense? Now, here's the thing. Many people make mistake. They compare, or let me say, they make a mistake of taking familiarity as compatibility in love. They mistake comfort for connection. And they mistake predictability for love. But I will say today, the safest option is not always the LDS one. It will all make sense. I know I've made a lot of statements. Familiarity is not compatibility. Comfort, does not necessarily mean connection. That you are comfortable around someone doesn't mean you are connected. Doesn't mean you have a connection together. And that someone is predictable does not necessarily mean that they are in love with you. Now, I will stop. After saying this today, I'll stop here. Then we'll continue because we still have a lot to cover. 3 stages of love. We still have love alone is not enough. We have so many other things. Evidence of commitment, how to know someone is committed, the 4 expression of love. So all those things are still things we need to do. And Trinity of love, those are some of the things we need to do. But our time is fast spent. If I say I should delve into the 3 stages of love, we might be here for another 30 minutes. And because I don't want to take out, or if you want me to cover 3 stages of love before we finish today, just indicate, please. I should be able to cover it within the next 10-15 minutes. Are we able to do that? No, you can unmute yourself and say it, please. You can drop it in the chat box if you want us to, because I don't understand the thumbs up. Is thumbs up is enough or go on or what? I want to know so I don't waste our time. So sorry, we are not wasting our time here. I take that back. So I don't take much of our time. Yeah. Should I continue?
Yes.
Okay. Someone has spoken on behalf of everyone. So what are the 3 stages of love? Every meaningful relationship must travel through this journey. The chemistry stage, the reality check stage, then the transformation stage. But the problem is a lot of people celebrate the moment they get to stage 1. And the chemistry stage is what some people follow till they enter into marriage. There was no reality check till they entered into marriage. So it was when they entered the marriage, they now started the reality check. And the moment they start the reality check, it is almost impossible for you to say you want out again. But it's always good when you go through all these phases before you enter marriage. And this is the question I get every time. Now, how long does it take to transition from chemistry to reality or rocky stage to transformation? And I always say, it depends on you. Because the quality of the question you ask will determine how fast you move from chemistry into reality check and into transformation. But the healthiest of all relationship will emerge at stage 3, not at stage 1. How many of you have entered a relationship and the first 3 months of the relationship appear to be the best time of your life? If you have been in that situation before, raise up your hand. That's when you can call yourself 5 times a day. You can do anything, like you'll be doing all of it, the season of extra cool. You can do extra cool. You will see the person in school the following day, but yet you do extra cool overnight. Right? That season is that stage of love is called chemistry stage. Chemistry is good as a platform of invitation into love. But in itself, it cannot sustain a relationship for a lifetime. I'll come again. Chemistry in itself is good as an invitation into a relationship or into a love life, but it does not have the capacity to sustain the relationship or the marriage for a lifetime. Because all chemistry creates, it creates attraction. You are attracted to the person, you want to be around the person, you want to do everything for the person. That's chemistry. It brings excitement. You are excited about each other. It brings curiosity. You want to know more. You want to be together. It brings about desire. You desire this person. You want to speak with them. You want to spend time with them. You want to call them. You want to do everything for them. At that stage, it will feel like heaven on earth. So if you call that kind, if you call anybody that this person you are in a relationship with, this person is not the best person for you. Honestly speaking, the only set of people that you can compare to someone in a chemistry stage is maybe a child when they say sweet. You cannot advise anybody in chemistry stage and they will listen to you. Because at that point, it's like someone, like the dopamine are secreted and it's like they are high on something or they are drunk with love. Chemistry is a good invitation to connection. But the only thing that can create sustainability is compatibility. So you can have chemistry, you can vibe, and not have a future together. So the moment you notice chemistry, even in marriage, the seasons are like roller coaster. You might be at a stage where you've transformed, in the stage of transformation in your marriage, and you've understand each other, but yet there is high probability that you go back to chemistry stage because sometimes the butterfly visits you and your wife becomes brand new to you. So the moment for singles now, the moment you notice chemistry, the next thing you should start probing is compatibility. Don't be carried away by the chemistry. Because what compatibility requires is a little bit more stronger. And the moment you trigger compatibility check, chemistry reduces, then you'll be able to see clearly. Because in compatibility, you will check shared value. Do we have the same value? Is this person emotionally intelligent? Does this person have self-control? Does this person have empathy? How good is our communication? In chemistry stage, in the first 3 months of your relationship, you will have a lot to say. The moment is 4th month, reality check comes in, and you will not have so much to say again. Then how do you communicate? Because I must tell you, marriage is boring, no. But it takes people who are intentional to make it lively. Because if care is not taken, there is high probability that you are still in love, but you've reduced your marriage into duty. You still love this person. You don't want them to go. You love this person. You want them to still be part of your life. But here's the thing. The only thing you talk about in your home is duty. Shadeni's book. Feminists, what's it now? Clothes. Emeka needs to pay school fees. Adamu is hungry. Where is my food? So it is very possible that if compatibility check is not done, you might reduce your marriage to duty. Because you won't have any other thing to talk about again, aside duty. But yet you still love each other. You do things for each other. But the moment you notice chemistry, like I said, trigger compatibility check. Shared value, emotional intelligence, self-control. Is there empathy? How is our communication? Because chemistry is a good starter of a relationship, but compatibility is what sustains the relationship. Now, when you get to stage 2, which is the reality check, this is where the mask comes off. Everybody or anybody can pretend to be who they are not over a certain period of time, but there will come a time when you have to unmask it. You can't keep it for long. That's why I said anybody that's seen a dysfunction in their marriage is as a result of what they ignored in their courtship. Because you will see the tendency. So the moment you get to the stage of reality check, how do you know you are in reality check? You start observing their fears. You start seeing their habit. You start seeing the wound they carry. You start seeing their childhood wound. You start seeing their trauma. You start seeing their insecurities. That's when you see how they react when you are around opposite sex, despite the fact you've explained everything to them. You start seeing their childhood pattern. You start seeing the dysfunction in their family. I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and the guy was saying that the wife was telling the interviewer, the podcaster, that there was a day they were fighting in their relationship, in their marriage, when they just got married, that they had a misunderstanding. And the husband was telling her sorry. And she said, "Leave me alone, Joe." And the husband prostrated flat and held her leg and said, "Please, I am sorry." And she said she broke down because she has never seen that before in her life. She said she was now shocked when she went to their house and saw the same situation, and she saw her father-in-law prostrate and held the leg of the mother-in-law and did exactly the same thing. And she said, no wonder it was easy for him to do it. That was what he saw growing up. So it was easy for him to apologize. So in the reality check stage, that's when you start seeing the childhood pattern of people. You start seeing their insecurity. You start seeing the wound they've hidden for long. Because there is no way, if someone is wounded, it's a matter of time. If you scratch that wound, it will bleed again. You start seeing the kind of habit they have. So you stop, this is where love stops being fantasy to you. Then it starts becoming a reality. You start seeing things that you should observe. This is the stage where you can see the red flag, the red banner, and the red sea. These are the stage where you will see indicator of what you should continue with or a relationship you should end immediately. And if you are in marriage, if you glide through chemistry stage into your marriage and you are now in marriage and you are seeing these things while in marriage, there's a way to manage it. All you need to see a counselor, see a therapist, reach out. Because if you can solve it, you won't be in that quagmire. Some solutions don't come from within, they come from outside. This stage, you will now understand, who else am I in love with? Because a lot of time we believe, oh, this is who I'm in love with. But we don't know that the person we're falling in love with is not just one person. It's a combination of generations impute in that person. You start seeing what you fell in love with. You start seeing their upbringing. You start seeing their scars. You start seeing their family problem, their family system. You are also seeing their dreams, who they want to become, how they want to achieve it, the strategy they want to use. These are the things you see in reality check stage. And if care is not taken, if you miss these things, it's a matter of time. They will become a problem you need to solve. Now, stage 3, which is transformation. This is where you now understand the person and the fantasy you have become reality. You start, where your feelings will start becoming the choice you've made. Like, you now know that, okay, my choice of this person is not just about what I feel, it is about what I've seen. So it has to, before you can say you are in love with someone, you must have transitioned from what you feel into what you see. Because if it's all about how you feel, honestly speaking, it doesn't take so much for me to make you feel good about yourself. But it is very difficult for me to help you see good about yourself or about myself. So it is at this stage you will transition from what you feel into what you see. This is the stage where you will understand that these are two imperfect people repeatedly choosing each other. And this is where mature love begins. And I'll wrap up on this note. Like I said in our last month session, it's on YouTube. You can check our YouTube page. You should be able to see, you will be able to see it on our YouTube page, just to catch up, because I'm kind of weaving some things together. Love alone is never enough. You can love someone and still not be right for each other. Okay. We will go deeply into that in our next session. So love also requires maturity. It requires character, requires wisdom, accountability, and discipline. Love is powerful. I'll end on this note. Love is powerful, but love without skill will definitely struggle. Remember, I said in the beginning, your relationship, your marriage, rise and fall on what you know. What you know about what? What you know about yourself, what you know about your partner, and what you know about your past and the future you want to create together. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much. So it's question time now. Does anybody have question? If you have your question, just raise up your hand. You can drop your question in the chat box if you don't want to ask, if you are shy like me. Does anybody have a question or questions? So while we wait for question, next week, we are going to be having a part 2 of this. And I will implore you, invite your friends, invite people around you to also join next week so that we can enjoy this together for the part 2. And there is high probability that next week, after the part 2, we might be looking at Stockholm syndrome and how it affects the family system. So we might be looking at Stockholm system and how it affects Stockholm syndrome, and how it affects the family system. I know a lot of people are familiar with the word Stockholm syndrome, but I will expatiate on it as to how it affects the family system. So any question so far?
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for the presentation.
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Right.
How how does love have its effect in a relationship when the other spouse is like behave stubbornly, especially the wife now?
Okay.
She always wants to have her way regardless of every effort that is brought
Uh,
to make
I'm struggling to hear
um,
you.
things look rational and bring
Sorry,
it to a
can you
logical
come again
conclusion.
or increase your volume? I'm struggling to hear you.
Okay, let me see if let me increase my volume. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I the question is, how does love, conquer a stubborn spouse? Or
Okay.
how does love have its way through the heart of a stubborn spouse?
Okay. Now I want a context in the sense that what do you mean by being stubborn? So because I don't want to assume. And is this a marriage or a relationship? Please clarify that, sir, before I can answer the question.
Okay, it's a marriage.
Right. Okay.
Okay, let me use this example. You know, um, in our culture,
Yeah.
it's expected that, okay, if a man attends a particular church, right,
Right.
um, it's expected that the whole family, should attend the same church. You
Right.
understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in a situation where the partner or the wife is now saying, no, I don't want to attend your church. I want to attend another church. And the husband has asked, like, okay, what's your reason? What's your point? Why don't you want to attend my church? And basically there's no genuine reasons for that. You know. How how do how do you how do love play its role in such a situation?
Right. Okay. Thank you very much for that clarification. Now, in a situation like this, there was no agreement right from time that we are going to go to this particular church. It's something that could have been agreed upon before marriage. But now that it was not agreed before marriage, you will have to sit down together and understand, is it possible for you to go to a church? Or is there a reason why you don't want to go to a church? Because everybody must shift ground at some point. And I always say you should have a negotiable and non-negotiable. If your church that you attend is negotiable, if it's worth sacrificing for you to have a good home, is all right. I always want husband and wife to attend the same church too, or to attend the same place of worship, because listening to the same thing has a way of helping the marriage too at the end of the day. So here's the thing. You will have to sit down with her again. And I don't know if it's possible for you to reach out to me privately so we can have some personal conversation. There are some questions I can ask you here. But in case anybody, I know everybody's learning from this question too. The first thing in this kind of situation is try as much as possible not to force it. Because each time you are trying to force me to do something, you will not meet reception, you will meet resistance. If I know you are coming to attack me, the reasonable thing for me to do is to defend myself. So which boils down to, how was it presented? Now, if it was presented rightly, there needs to be a round table. And I always say something, if you have grown-up children, Your children are also they are also part of the decision maker in the house, in a way. In every house, you have president, you have vice president, and you have the House of Rep and Senate, the legislative arm. Let everybody sit down. Which church should we attend? If there is something she does not like about your church, is there a possibility where the two of you will come together and agree on a neutral church, which is not her church or your church? Then everybody will be going there. Those are the possibilities. But for a single person who is looking to get married, try to discuss some of these things before you marry, because they will pop up in the future. Some people believe it's a natural thing to know, whereas some people don't believe. I know someone that what caused their problem was just because the wife said, I want to keep my father's name. And the husband said, why will you keep your father's name when you are married to me? It was never discussed. So the resolve that we later give them during counseling session was, you guys have to come to a point where you let her keep her father's name, then she'll add your name to it. And that was what resolved it. And they're living fine. So if moving ground to a neutral ground for the two of you will solve it, let it solve it. Then if you have been commanding her to do it before, you have to come to a place of consensus. If you take it as an attack that she's not being submissive, if you come to her and you say, you ought to come to my church and submit, and you will always meet resistance when you go with attack or when you are trying to judge. But go with the mindset of wanting to understand the situation and how you can move from there. Does my answer make any sense? But if we talk personally, there are some questions I will ask to ask, but I cannot ask in a general space like this, unless if you are comfortable with me asking you, openly. Am I able to answer your question, sir?
Thank you. I think I've gotten one or two from your illustration. I may just meet you up privately.
All right, no problem. All right, no problem. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. Is there any other question? Any other question? In the absence of any other question, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. So by next week, when we are coming next week, I want everybody to come with, okay, go on. You can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Okay. Hi, Sean. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. So I'd like you to say a bit more on, though I have what's it called, a bit of answers to it, but I would also want you to speak more about it, the reasons why we have increased rate of divorce here and there, both home and abroad. Is it that people don't genuinely love each other or something? So
okay,
that's my question.
Right. Okay, yeah, thank you for that. Like I said, I'll just answer briefly because there is a full session that will cover divorce in itself at some point and how we can prevent ourselves from it, because you can immune yourself from divorce. I would say one of the major reasons is the illusion of thinking love alone is enough. There are lots and lots of people that believe love alone is enough to steer a family to, or to steer a marriage to the destination where they want. And love alone in itself, I will continue to say this again and again. I think I've said it like 4 or 5 times today alone. Love alone is not enough. There's a lot more to add to love to make it make sense, to make it, last, or to stand a test of time. I will just say 2 points. The second point I'm going to say is the reason why people divorce is because the reason why people get married is not strong enough to sustain the marriage for a lifetime. The reason why people get married is not enough to sustain the marriage for a lifetime. What am I saying in essence? If you ask a lot of people, why did they get married? Some people got married because they want financial power. They just want to use marriage as a poverty alleviation strategy. Some people got married because they want children. Some people got married because they want sex without the feel of guilt. So everybody have a reason why they got married. So if you get married because of money, because the person is financially stable, the moment instability in finance is setting, that's your cue to exit. Then you look for another rich victim. There's a particular person, I don't want to mention name, we all know the person. The person is an influencer. She has been jumping from one rich man to another. But what you notice in everybody she leaves to another person is because the person does not have more money to spend. So there are, in family system engineering, there are different types of reasons why people get married, and there are different kind of union. So, okay, don't let me go into that one because it's going to take much of our time. But what am I saying in essence? If the reason why you are getting married is not strong enough to last for a lifetime, the lifespan of the marriage will be equal to the lifespan of the reason why you get married. The lifespan of your marriage is equal to the lifespan of the reason why you get married. And I've used an analogy before. I know most of us have heard about the story of Monica Lewinsky and President Clinton. When they asked Hillary Clinton, you can read about it. I don't want to go deep into the story, but you can read about it. And one of the reasons why Americans kept quiet immediately after the whole saga finished was because they interviewed Hillary Clinton. That why didn't she divorce? Why didn't she leave the marriage? Why didn't she do this and that? And she said, the reason why we got married is bigger than the cheating of her husband, rather. So there's no point for divorce. In other words, the reason why they got married is bigger than the offense the husband committed. Am I supporting cheating? No. What I'm saying, I'm just trying to emphasize that the reason why people get married will determine why they will stay married. I hope with these 2 points of mine, I've been able to, because that's a class of about 2 hours on its own, divorce in itself. But I think I've been able to answer a little bit. True or true? All right. Okay. So is there any other question? Okay. In the absence of any question, I want us to do something, because what we did today, we are going to do it again next week, the 5 minutes thing. So I want you to collate, you have a month. The next month's session is going to be on the 19th of July. It's going to be 19th of July. So we all have a month to collate eulogy for ourselves, to praise ourselves. So collate it, write it out in a piece of paper, paste it beside your mirror or where you know that you always see it in the morning, and say it to yourself. No Bible verse, nothing. Just you praising yourself. By what people say about you, by what you think of yourself that you are, by what has been revealed to you about yourself. So collate everything. Then when we come next week, the first thing we are going to do is praise ourselves. Then you tell me how you feel about it, even while reading it at home and while reading it while we are together. So on this note, I'll say thank you to everyone for joining us today. And I'll see you next month. Thank you. Thank you.